Hey everybody, Matt here with Take Roads Less Traveled, and today we're going to be doing an overview on Smittybilt's Overlander Gen 1 tent. When it comes to rooftop tents, there's a lot of options you have. You have soft shell tents, you've got hard shell tents, you've got ones that start at about $1,000 like this Smittybilt Overlander, all the way up to $3,000, $4,000, even $5,000 rooftop tents made by companies like Roof Nest and others that are just insanely overpriced, in my opinion, for what you get. But for $1,000, which is, yes, a lot for a tent, you get a lot of features when it comes to this one. First and foremost, you get quite a bit of room. Now, this is the smaller of Smittybilt's two soft shell tents. They have the Overlander and the Overlander XL. The XL is able to sleep 3 comfortably, maybe 4, whereas the Overlander, which is this one, can sleep 2 comfortably and maybe 3. One of the nice things that you have with this is you have a lot of open space. So you can see I have one rod that isn't in place there, and that's just because of the roof line of the Avalanche. But otherwise, you can see that all 4 sides open up, and you have a lot of windows in this thing to really let this thing breathe. Now, one of the concerns there then is, can this be used year-round? And I will tell you, yes, it can. I have been in this tent when it is in the 90s during the day and low 80s at night. And I've also been in this tent when it's no more than 30 degrees during the day and even down into the 20s at night. And I was okay. The biggest thing you have to do with that is make sure you have proper gear, like your sleeping bag and everything. Also with this tent, you have a fly built right into it, so you're not having to worry about stringing up a fly or anything like that. But if you want, you can remove it so that you can have more open air if you choose to do that. Along with that, you also have a small storage bag that closes up, that hangs from the tent. You can put shoes in there, so you're not having to put them inside the tent or worry about them getting wet if it rains. The ladder for the tent is a little wanting. It's simply a 2-piece slide system, and I've had to drill extra holes into the runs so that I have more positions to lock the ladder into. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to upgrade to a telescoping ladder one day in the future if you feel like doing that. As for mounting, the tent simply uses 2 aluminum channels with slides that have long bolts through them and nylocks, and then a bar, or a retaining bar. One of the big mistakes people will make is they'll over tighten these and they'll bend that bar. You have to remember, when it comes to tension mounts, is you want it to be just tight enough to hold it and not over tighten it. Otherwise you actually end up losing the tension you should have. But you can position this tent with these rails to either open off the back of a vehicle or off of either side, depending on how you set your rails up. You can tell I have mine set up to open up off the passenger side of the truck. And when I first got the tent, I originally set it up to open up off the back, but it was kind of in the way when I was trying to get into the bed of the truck with the tailgate, so that's why I chose to switch it over. But that is nice that you can have those options on mounting, whereas some other ones, you're only able to mount it one direction. Going to the inside of the tent, one of the big complaints people have with a lot of Smittybilt products are their zippers. They consider them to be real low quality, they have to replace them a lot. I'm just going to tell you, on this rooftop tent, I have had 0 issues with these zippers, and I've had it for a couple years and I've had no problems whatsoever. Like anything, just take care of what you have and it'll last you a long time. One of the nice things on these entrances though is you can see I've got it rolled up, but you also have a cover flap that zips down in place. This is great for colder weather camping. This is great for if you just want to have a little extra privacy or anything like that. So let's get right inside. Coming in, you can see I've got my bag and my blanket, a pillow all set up in here. And granted, it's just me on this trip, but you can tell there's room for 2 people if you wanted to have it. I've been in this tent with another person before and had plenty of room, was plenty comfortable. And once you're inside, it's not bad at all. So let's check out some of these features. So like I said, you've got quite a bit of space in here, and it's very, very comfortable. I've got my clothing bag, a sleeping bag, my pillow, blanket, all of them down. That's real easy. And I've got quite a bit of light in here as it is. If I want, I can open up these side window flaps a little bit more to let even more airflow through. I've got storage pockets underneath each window. I've got 2 under both windows on either side of it, and it makes it real easy for storing gear. Along with that, I also have these roof lights and roof windows that'll open up, and if I remove the fly, that gives me open view to the top. Along with, I can just unzip this, completely open it if I want, and I also have a cover I can put in place as well, which is really nice. So the whole way this works though is simply through a 3 roll bar hinge system. They've got it all set up into this plate right here, and then the whole thing just collapses in half. And I have to tell you, it's just a real simplistic design that works incredibly well. One of the really nice things about this tent though is the mattress itself. This is about a 2-inch thick mattress. It works incredibly well. It's very comfortable. And one thing I did to help out a little bit is I just took an 8x4 sheet of styrofoam, cut it in half, and then put a piece of that underneath the mattress on either end. And that just really helps with heat retention, anything like that, especially in cold weather camping. One last feature I want to show you when it comes to this tent that is really nice is this right here. It is an LED bar, and they've got a little pocket right here for a USB cord storage. And then with the tent comes extra cord. So you can have an extension that will run this all the way to your vehicle, and you can power it with just, you know, a regular DC port, 12 volt port on your vehicle. Or if you have a little power pack with a USB, you can light it up. And as you can see, that is plenty bright. It's lighting up this entire tent, and I have a ton of light this way. And that is just a really nice feature that Smittybilt thought of when it comes to this tent. The last thing I want to talk about with this rooftop tent is setup and takedown. Now, a lot of people think that having to go through the process of a soft shell tent and setting it all up is a little laborious, and it's really not. The honest truth is that I was able to set this up after getting into camp in less than 5 minutes. It was super easy. All I had to do was take the cover off, unfold it, put the ladder down, and then put the rods in. And it took, like I said, it took me under 5 minutes to set it up. One of the nice things for the Smittybilt tent, compared to a lot of the hard shell tents that you'll see out there, is the fact that you can actually leave your stuff inside of it. So if you're not going to be staying at one site and you're just doing one night at a site and then you're moving on to the next one and you're having to pack your tent back up a lot, it can be a real pain in the butt to have to roll your bag back up, get your pillow out, get all your gear out of there. This is one of the nice things about this tent is you can just leave all that in there, fold it up, the cover will still fit right over top of it, and then you're able to hit the road and go. So just to show you how simple this is to set up, I'm gonna do it. Just gonna undo a couple side straps there. More straps, 2 on each side. Last one there. And the very last thing we need to do tent's pretty well set up. Now, it does come with the rods, so you can open all these up, which I'm gonna do. Rods are real easy. They put a little opening on the side. There we go. Rod just slides in there and hooks on. Very, very easy. Same on all four sides. I'm going to leave one rod out. And that's just because of my setup. There we go. The reason I'm leaving one rod out is because my roof is kind of in the way of it. So can't really get that one put on all the way. But it opens up enough to be able to use. This is all that matters. And there you have it. Fully set up in under 5 minutes and ready for a good night's sleep. So if you're looking for a rooftop tent and you're a little bit on a budget when it comes to it, check out the Smittybilt Overlander. It's definitely a great choice. See you on the roads less traveled.